Hi everyone, I'm Paige and welcome to my sewing corner. In this video, I'm going to be showing you all of the scissors that I have in my collection and what different purposes they serve, and I'll tell you my top 3 scissors. If you're only going to get 3, then they're the ones that I would pick. So let's jump right into the review. This is my lineup of sewing scissors that I have in my scissor drawer at all times, and I'll explain the different purposes for them and my top 3 picks that I think you should have in your sewing drawer. So we're going to start from this side, working our way over. These are embroidery scissors, and these are really good for cutting thread and string. Not really for fabric, these are nice to have just for cutting threads. This next pair is a pair of Kai scissors. They measure about 5.5 inches in total length, and then from the hinge 2.5 inches. These ones I use a lot of the time for just little cutting jobs that I need to do, such as cutting little notches or cutting the edges of curves or snipping corners or trimming away at the seam allowance. They're very detailed and they're so very sharp. I always say that I could give a fly a haircut with these. They're sharp and they have a very pointy tip. They are really great scissors. This next pair are just your standard orange-handled Fiskars. They're actually my daughter's scissors, and the reason that I picked this pair is because of the size. It fits her smaller hand well. They're just over 7 inches long, and then from the tip of the blade to the hinge is about 3.25 inches. So these are really nice for beginning small-handed sewers, and they cut nicely. They're sharp. They get the job done. There's a little bit of a grittiness to the feel in cutting, but they are sharp and they cut well. So these are what I would recommend for a child sewer. These scissors are my workhorse and not for fabric. These are my paper scissors, or anything that's not fabric I cut with these. Sewing scissors never cut paper or anything that's going to dull them. That is what this is for. So if I'm cutting out a pattern paper or needing to just cut something, I am not afraid to just hack at anything with these, and there's no guilt associated. Then these 2 scissors are both Ginger scissors. This one just has a cover. It came with it. This one didn't come with a cover. I like that there's a cover. I think scissors should have covers just because the ends are pointy and you don't want them to fall and dent anything or cut anything that they shouldn't. The only difference is the size. I actually prefer the smaller ones. If I'm needing to cut a lot of straight lines for something in a big piece of fabric, then I'll use the bigger ones. The big ones from top to bottom are about 8.5 inches, and from the hinge 4 inches. These are about 7 inches, and from the hinge 3.5. So they're both good. They're both very sharp. I'm going to set these aside, and then I'm going to compare these scissors with these and explain why you might want to have both. So these right here are Kai scissors, and they're serrated. So this is a knife edge and this is a serrated edge. And you can feel the bumpy serrations on this side, and then this side is smooth. So if I'm just cutting out regular fabric, cotton or something substantial, I use these. For example, here's just a little scrap of flannel, and if I was going to be cutting out something for this, I would use this. It cuts really nicely. Here's the big ones. But then if you're going to be cutting silk, that's where the difference is going to come into play with these. Anything that's really shifty or silky, this is silk organza, and it's just stiff by nature. You can see it stands up, it's strong. It's not going to be as noticeable of a difference with this, but just to show the comparison, this cuts it really nicely, and I can get a really consistent cut with that. And then the serrated ones, they just kind of grip onto it. You can feel them gripping it. But the big difference is when you're cutting something that's really shifty like this silk. When I cut this with these scissors, you're going to be able to see that they kind of push the fabric forward as you cut. See how it's pushing it? Do it again. You can see the fabric is moving and pushing as I cut that, and you can see a little bit of a wave in that cut edge. But then when you switch over and you use serrated scissors on silk, you can feel it grips onto it and it doesn't push it. So even in the air, you can see the difference, how it just grabs onto the fabric. I'll do a close-up of the difference too. Okay, so I've got this piece laying down and I'm just going to cut with these scissors. Do one more. And then I'll switch over to this pair. Watch when I cut this as it just pushes the silk a little bit. It's sort of sliding forward. And if you're cutting long lengths, you're going to have a lot more shifting with this, and the edge of that cut might be a little wavy, and this one will cut it a lot straighter. So out of this assortment, the ones that I feel like you should definitely have are these ones for cutting little details. They're sharp, precise, and wonderful to have. These ones, if you're cutting anything that's slippery or silky, and then a pair of knife edge scissors. So these are my top 3 scissors. If I was only gonna have 3, then I would pick these, with the honorable mention of the paper scissors, but you probably already have these in your house. They're just your standard household scissors, so I don't really necessarily count them as sewing scissors, but you will need them in the process of sewing. But these are the ones for fabric that you're going to want to have. If you like this video, you can click the thumbs up down below. You can also click subscribe and the bell alert next to that to be notified anytime that I post a video. And you can let me know down in the comments section what your favorite pair of scissors are. Until next time, go get creative and make something that you love. Bye!